Hello everyone. A few months ago, I made a video about the Russian Revolution. This video is about the Soviet Union. Before the Soviet Union was born, revolutionary activity began in protest against the Tsar Nicholas I's assumption of the throne. This was known as the Decembrist Revolt. The last Tsar, Nicholas II, he managed to rule Russia until his abdication on March 15th, 1917. Later on December 28th, 1922, the Soviet Union was officially established. As time moved on, the leader of the Russian Revolution and then leader of the Soviet Union, Lenin, he only managed to rule the government for less than 2 years because of his death on January 21st, 1924. Stalin became the leader of the Soviet Union in 1924 after Lenin's death, but he only did it through isolating his opponents. A few years later, Stalin introduced the first 5-year plan. You see, Lenin planned for communism to spread internationally throughout the entire world. Stalin, on the other hand, only wanted communism to be spread throughout Russia. Stalin's Great Purge did lead to many old Bolsheviks being detained or worse, executed. On August 23rd, 1939, Stalin made a non-aggression pact with Hitler in secret. On April 13th, 1941, the Soviet Union signed a neutrality pact with the Japanese Empire after winning several victories against them in the years 1938 and 1939. However, the neutrality pact between Hitler and Stalin did not last. On June 22nd, 1941, Hitler broke the pact and invaded Russia. He intended to conquer the western part of the Soviet Union, repopulate it with Germans, use Slavs as a labor force, a slave labor force to be more technical, seize the oil reserves, and finally, the agricultural resources. After Hitler betrayed Stalin, Stalin sought help from the Allies. He agreed to join them on 2 conditions. One, that the British and the Americans would offer assistance/aid to Stalin and his army, and 2, that Russia would gain territory in the land they liberated from the Germans. The British and the Americans agreed to Stalin's first condition, but rejected the second. By mid-1942, Stalin agreed to the terms, but only after the military situation deteriorated. After Stalin died on March 5th, 1953, the government officials of the Soviet Union wanted to rule the land through a troika. A troika is when it is 3 leaders rather than 1, almost like a council. However, the troika did not last very long, and so Nikita Khrushchev, a Soviet politician, took control in the 1950s. During the final years of the Cold War, Mikhail Gorbachev, a Soviet statesman, took power and became leader of the Soviet Union. Gorbachev was a revolutionary leader. He promoted liberalization of landscapes and capitalist elements. The USSR was also in an arms race against the United States. However, the Soviet Union began to crumble. Its liberal reforms proved difficult, and capitalist changes were badly transitioned. Eventually, in the year 1991, on December 31st, the Cold War ended and the Soviet Union dissolved. I do hope you enjoyed this fun and educational video. I'll keep you posted.